Dr. Han-Sol Kim rubbed his tired eyes as he stared at the glowing crystal in front of him. The archive chamber on Nexus Prime was silent except for the soft hum of alien technology. Most beings were asleep at this hour, but Han-Sol could not stop working. He had been studying the old records of the crystalline hegemony for 3 months now, looking for any trace of humanity's past in the galaxy. The crystal he held was different from the others. It was older, much older. The energy readings showed it was at least 200,000 years old. Elder Velthar had warned him about touching the ancient artifacts, but Han-Sol was careful. He wore the special gloves that let him handle the crystal without damaging it. As he placed the crystal into the reading device, something amazing happened. Light filled the entire room as a 3-dimensional map appeared in the air above him. Stars, planets, and entire solar systems floated around him like tiny jewels. Han-Sol gasped. This was not just any star map. This was the most detailed and complete map of the galaxy he had ever seen. Incredible, he whispered to himself. Every star was in the right place. Every planet showed up exactly where it should be. The map even showed civilizations that had died out long ago. Han-Sol recognized some of them from his studies. The Vorthan, empire gone for 50,000 years, the crystal cities of Andromache, destroyed by their own son's death. All of them were here, marked with symbols he was beginning to understand. Han-Sol spent hours studying the map, taking notes and recording everything he could see. The level of detail was impossible. How could anyone have known so much about the galaxy 200,000 years ago? Most civilizations back then barely knew about their own solar systems. Then he found something that made his blood run cold. Han-Sol zoomed the map to show the local area of space where Earth should be. The Sol system appeared perfectly. There was the sun, bright and yellow, just like in all the modern maps. There were all the planets in their correct places. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Even the asteroid belt was marked with tiny symbols, but Earth was not there. Han-Sol checked the map again. He zoomed in closer, then pulled back to see the whole system. He counted the planets over and over. 8 planets, just like there should be. But the third planet from the sun, the blue and green world that was humanity's home, simply did not exist on this map. That cannot be right, Han-Sol said out loud. His voice echoed in the empty chamber. He knew Earth had been in the same place for billions of years. There was no way it could have moved or been destroyed. Modern science was clear about that. So why was it missing from a map that got everything else perfect? Han-Sol tried to stay calm, but his hands were shaking as he saved all his recordings. He had to tell someone about this, but who would believe him? A map that was perfect except for one missing planet? It sounded crazy even to him. The next morning, Han-Sol called Ambassador Lee Dobbin. She was the human representative to the Galactic Council and one of the few people who might understand what he had found. Dobbin, I need you to come to the archives right away, Han-Sol said over the communication device. I found something that changes everything we know about Earth's history. Ambassador Lee arrived 2 hours later with Dr. Wu Jin-ho, a human scientist who knew more about star maps than anyone else in human space. Jin-ho was young but brilliant, and Han-Sol trusted his opinion. Show us what you found, Dobbin said. She looked worried. Han-Sol had never called her unless something was very important. Han-Sol activated the crystal again. The ancient star map filled the room with light. Both Dobbin and Jin-ho stood in amazement as they saw the incredible detail of the galactic map. This is impossible, Jin-ho whispered. The technology to make something like this should not have existed 200,000 years ago. Look at the precision. Look at the detail. This is more accurate than our best modern maps. That is not the strangest part, Han-Sol said. He guided them to the Sol system section of the map. Look at our solar system. Jin-ho studied the map carefully. His face went pale as he realized what was wrong. Earth is not there, but everything else is perfect. How is that possible? Before anyone could answer, Elder Velthar entered the chamber. The tall, crystal-like being moved slowly, his ancient body making soft, ringing sounds as he walked. Han-Sol had not heard him approach. Ah, you have found the first map, Velthar said. His voice was like wind through crystal caves. I wondered when one of your kind would discover it. You knew about this? Dobbin asked. You knew Earth was missing from this map? Of course, Velthar replied. The architects made this map. They were the most advanced civilization the galaxy has ever known. They mapped every star, every planet, every moon in perfect detail. They never made mistakes. But Earth is missing, Han Sol said. That has to be a mistake. Velthar's crystal eyes glowed brighter. The architects never made mistakes, young human. If your world is not on their map, there is a reason. A very important reason. What kind of reason? Dobbin demanded. That is what you must find out, Velthar said. But I warn you, the architects were wise beyond our understanding. If they chose to leave something off their greatest map, they had good cause to do so. Han Sol felt a chill run down his spine. Are you saying they left Earth off the map on purpose? I am saying, Velthar replied slowly, that you have found something that was meant to remain hidden. The question now is, why did the architects want your world to stay secret? And more importantly, what happens now that the secret has been discovered? The three humans looked at each other. They all understood that they had stumbled onto something much bigger than a simple mapping error. This discovery could change everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. We need to report this to Earth Command immediately, Dobbin said. Yes, Han Sol agreed. But we also need to find out more about these architects. Who were they? Why did they make this map? And what did they know about Earth that made them leave it out? Jinho was still staring at the map. There has to be more information somewhere. Maps like this are not made in isolation. There must be other records, other clues. Perhaps, Velthar said. But be careful what you wish to find, humans. Some secrets are kept for good reasons. Some knowledge comes with a price that may be too high to pay. As the ancient being left the chamber, the three humans stood in silence, staring at the impossible map that showed their entire galaxy except for the one planet that mattered most to them. Their quest for answers was just beginning. Captain Park Hyun-woo stood on the bridge of the UES Discovery, watching as his mixed crew of humans and aliens prepared for their most important mission. 3 weeks had passed since the discovery of the ancient star map. Earth Command had moved, quickly, putting together the best team they could find to investigate the mystery. Captain, all systems are ready for departure, reported Lieutenant Kang Min-soo from the navigation station. The young officer had been working with the alien crew members to plan their route to the void reaches, a dangerous area of space where reality itself seemed to bend. Thank you, Lieutenant, Hyun-woo replied. He looked around the bridge at his crew. Dr. Choi Soo-jin sat at the science station, her quantum analysis equipment humming quietly. Next to her, the holographic form of Arya flickered as the AI processed thousands of calculations per second. Arya, what is our current status on the quantum scanners? Hyun-woo asked. All quantum detection systems are operating at maximum efficiency, Captain, Arya replied in her calm, human-like voice. Dr. Soo-jin has made several improvements to the original design. We should be able to detect even the smallest quantum disturbances. Dr. Soo-jin looked up from her work. Captain, I have been thinking about what Elder Velthar told us. If the architects really did hide Earth from their map on purpose, they might have done more than just leave it off the records. They might have actually hidden the planet itself. Hidden. It how? Hyun-woo asked. By moving it through time instead of space, Soo-jin explained. Think about it. If you wanted to hide something from other civilizations, you would not just move it to a different location. Someone might find it eventually. But if you moved it to a different time, it would be almost impossible to discover. The idea was incredible. But Hyun-woo had learned to trust Soo-jin's theories. She was one of the smartest people he had ever met, and her understanding of quantum physics was beyond what most humans could even imagine. So you think Earth exists in some kind of time bubble? He asked. Not exactly, Soo-jin said. I think Earth was moved slightly out of phase with normal time. It exists in the same place but in a different temporal layer. That would explain why the architects could map everything else in the Sol system, but Earth would not show up on their instruments. Arya's hologram turned toward them. Dr. Soo-jin's theory matches some of the quantum readings I have been detecting from the Sol system. There are indeed temporal anomalies around Earth that do not exist anywhere else. Before anyone could respond, the ship's communication system activated. A message was coming in from the Deep Space monitoring stations. Captain, Park, this is Deep Space Station 7. We are detecting massive energy readings from the void reaches. Something big is happening out there. Hyunwoo frowned. The void reaches were already dangerous enough without unknown energy sources making things worse. Can you tell us what kind of energy? Negative, Captain. It is unlike anything we have seen before. But, sir, the energy patterns match some of the readings from the ancient star map crystal. Whatever is out there, it might be connected to your mission. The crew looked at each other with a mixture of excitement and fear. They were heading into uncharted territory, following clues that were 200,000 years old. Set course for the void reaches, Hyunwoo ordered. Maximum speed. The journey took them 4 days. As they approached the dangerous region of space, the instruments began to register strange readings. Space itself seemed to twist and bend in ways that should have been impossible. Captain, I am detecting a massive energy signature directly ahead, Soo-jin reported. It is not matching any known technology. On the main screen, they could see something that took their breath away. A giant creature made of pure energy floated in the emptiness of space. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time, with flowing patterns of light that seemed to pulse with intelligence. This is Captain Park of the UES Discovery, Hyunwoo said over the communication system. Can you understand us? The energy being responded, its voice filling their minds directly instead of coming through their ears. I understand you, small ones. I am the Oracle, last of the architects. I have been waiting for your kind to find the first map. The entire crew fell silent. They were face to face with a member of the most advanced civilization the galaxy had ever known. You are one of the architects? Dr. Soo-jin asked. But we thought your people were extinct. My people transcended physical form long ago, the Oracle replied. I remained behind to guard certain secrets and to watch for the day when the hidden ones would seek the truth. The hidden ones? Hyunwoo asked. Do you mean humanity? Yes, Captain Park. Your species was hidden for good reason. 200,000 years ago, my people discovered something about early humans that frightened us greatly. The Oracle's light patterns shifted, showing them images directly in their minds. They saw Earth as it was long ago, with primitive humans living in caves and hunting with simple tools. But there was something different about these early humans, something that set them apart from other species. Your ancestors showed abilities that should not have existed, the Oracle continued. They could sense quantum fields without any technology. They adapted to new environments faster than any other species we had studied. Most troubling of all, they showed signs of being able to manipulate space and time instinctively. That is impossible, Soo-jin said. Humans back then barely had fire, and yet our instruments detected quantum manipulation events around your early settlements. Small at first, but growing stronger with each generation. We realized that humanity was evolving in ways that could threaten the stability of the entire galaxy. The images in their minds showed the architects debating what to do about the dangerous new species. Some wanted to destroy humanity before they could develop further. Others argued for a different solution. We chose to quarantine your world, the Oracle explained. We moved Earth into a temporal bubble, isolated from the rest of galactic time. This would allow your species to develop separately without affecting other civilizations. But why remove us from the star map? Hyunwoo asked. Because we feared that other species might find you eventually. If they discovered a world full of beings with natural quantum abilities, they might try to use you as weapons, or they might try to destroy you out of fear. The map was our most important document. By leaving Earth off it, we ensured that no one would ever think to look for you. Dr. Soo-jin was studying her instruments frantically. Oracle, I am detecting quantum signatures from dozens of other systems. Are there other quarantined worlds? The Oracle's light grew brighter. Yes, Dr. Soo-jin. Earth was not the only world we hid. There are 47 other species that showed dangerous potential. All of them were moved into temporal isolation for the safety of the galaxy. And now? Hyunwoo asked. Now the quarantine is failing, the Oracle replied. The temporal barriers are breaking down after 200,000 years. All of the hidden species are beginning to emerge back into normal time. The galaxy is about to change in ways that no one can predict. Arya's hologram flickered as she processed this information. Captain, if 47 advanced species are about to emerge simultaneously, the political balance of the entire galaxy will shift dramatically. That is correct, the Oracle said. And there are others who have learned of this discovery. Others who remember the old legends about hidden worlds. They are coming, and they do not wish humanity or any of the quarantined species to be free. As if summoned by the Oracle's words, the ship's alarm systems began blaring. Long-range sensors detected a massive fleet approaching their position. Captain, we have multiple contacts incoming, Lieutenant Kang reported. It looks like a war. Fleet! And they are heading straight for us! The Oracle's light pulsed urgently. They have found us sooner than I expected. Captain Park, your people and all the hidden species are in great danger. The galaxy's oldest enemies have returned, and they will stop at nothing to prevent the quarantined worlds from joining the galactic community. Hyunwoo looked at his crew, all of them ready for whatever was coming. Oracle, we need to know everything. How do we protect our people? How do we contact the other quarantined species? And most importantly, how do we stop whoever is coming for us? All of those answers exist, the Oracle replied. But first, you must survive what comes next. The war fleet that approached them was unlike anything Captain Hyunwoo had ever seen. The ships were massive and dark, covered in sharp edges and weapons that seemed to absorb light itself. Even from a distance, they looked deadly and wrong, as if they were built for nothing but destruction. Captain, I count 67 ships in that fleet, Lieutenant Kang reported. They are all heavily armed, and they are moving fast. The Oracle's energy form pulsed with urgency. Those are Kreetal vessels. They are the descendants of a warrior race that fought against my people long ago. When we quarantined the dangerous species, the Kreetal opposed us. They believed that war and conflict were necessary for galactic strength. Dr. Sujin looked up from her instruments. Why are they here now? How did they even know about the quarantined worlds? They have been searching for the hidden species for thousands of years, the Oracle explained. They believe that the quarantined worlds contain ancient weapons left behind by my people. They do not yet understand that you are the weapons they seek. What do you mean? Hyunwoo asked. Before the Oracle could answer, the communication system crackled to life. A harsh voice filled the bridge, speaking in accented but clear galactic standard. Human vessel, this is War Chief Gorth Ak of the Kreetal Empire. You will surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will result in your destruction. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. They were badly outnumbered, but he had never surrendered to anyone in his life. This is Captain Park of the UES. Discovery. We are on a peaceful scientific mission. We have no quarrel with your people. You lie, human, Gorthak snarled. You seek the hidden weapons of the architects. We have tracked your movements and monitored your communications. You will tell us the location of all quarantined worlds, or you will die. The Oracle moved closer to their ship. Captain Park, I must tell you something that will be difficult to accept. The quarantine process did not just hide your species. It changed you. Changed us how? Dr. Sujin demanded. The temporal isolation accelerated your development in ways we did not expect. Humans today are far more advanced than they would have been naturally. Your technology, your adaptability, your aggressive expansion into space, all of it happened much faster than it should have. Arya's hologram flickered as she processed this information. Are you saying that human civilization has been artificially enhanced? Yes, the Oracle replied. And not just humans. All 47 quarantined species underwent the same acceleration. You are all more dangerous now than when we first hid you. The Kreetal ships were getting closer. Their weapons were charging, creating an ominous glow that lit up the darkness of space. Captain, we need to make a decision, Lieutenant Kang said. Fight or run? Hyunwoo was about to answer when something unexpected happened. Space itself seemed to shimmer around them, and suddenly there were other ships appearing out of nowhere. These vessels looked different from both human and Kreetal designs. They were elegant and strange, built with technologies that seemed to bend the laws of physics. "Who are they?" Dr. Sujin asked. "The shepherds have awakened," the oracle said, and for the first time, its voice carried something that sounded like hope. "My people left behind guardian systems to protect the quarantined worlds. The Kretal attack has triggered their activation." One of the new ships moved between the Discovery and the Kretal fleet. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time, covered in patterns that seemed to shift and move like living art. When it spoke, the voice that came through their communications was cold and emotionless. "Kretal vessels, you are in violation of Architect Quarantine Protocol 77 Alpha. Withdraw immediately or face termination." War Chief Gorthak's response was predictable. "We do not recognize Architect authority. Your people are dead and gone. These hidden worlds belong to those strong enough to take them." The Kretal fleet opened fire on the Guardian ship. Their weapons were powerful, but when the energy beams hit the Guardian vessel, they simply disappeared as if they had never existed. "Fascinating," Dr. Sujin whispered. "They are using some kind of quantum absorption field. The energy is not being blocked or deflected. It is being converted into something else entirely." The Guardian ship's response was swift and devastating. Beams of pure light lanced out from its hull, and every Kretal ship they touched simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed or blown apart, but actually erased from reality, as if they had never been there at all. In less than a minute, the entire Kretal fleet was gone, except for the command ship. Gorthak's voice came through their communications again, but now it was filled with fear instead of anger. "This is not over, humans. The Kretal Empire will not allow dangerous species to threaten galactic peace. We will return with a larger fleet." The remaining ship jumped to hyperspace, fleeing as fast as it could travel. The Guardian ship turned toward the Discovery. When it spoke again, its voice was different, warmer somehow. "Captain Park, I am the Shepherd. I was created by the Architects to protect and guide the quarantined species when the time came for their emergence." "The time has come?" Hyunwoo asked. "Yes, the quarantine barriers have degraded beyond repair. All 47 hidden species are beginning to return to normal space-time. The galaxy will soon learn of their existence, whether we wish it or not." Dr. Sujin was studying her instruments again. "Shepard, I am detecting quantum signatures from multiple star systems. Are those the other quarantined worlds?" "Correct, Dr. Sujin. And I must inform you that several of them are already under attack by Kretal forces. The war chief spoke truthfully when he said they would return with larger fleets." The oracle drifted closer to both ships. "The situation is more complex than even I realized. The Kretal are not the only threat. There are other species that will fear the emergence of the quarantined worlds. Some will want to destroy you, others will want to control you, and a few may try to ally with you for their own purposes." "What do you recommend we do?" Hyunwoo asked. "You must contact Earth immediately," the Shepherd replied. "Your people need to know what is coming. But more importantly, you must make contact with the other emerging species. Together you may have enough strength to defend yourselves. Separately, you will all be destroyed." Arya's hologram turned toward the captain. "Sir, I am receiving multiple messages from Earth Command. They are reporting strange quantum disturbances throughout human space. Several colony worlds are detecting unknown ships in their systems." "The war has already begun," the oracle said sadly. "The Kretal are not waiting. They are attacking the quarantined worlds as they emerge, hoping to destroy them before they can organize a defense." Dr. Sujin looked up from her work with excitement in her eyes. "Captain, I think I know how to contact the other species. If they are all using similar quantum technologies, we should be able to create a communication network that spans the entire galaxy." "Do it," Hyunwoo ordered. "We need to warn them about the Kretal attacks and coordinate our defenses." As Sujin worked, the Shepherd moved closer to their ship. "Captain Park, there is something else you must know. The acceleration process that affected your species has given humans abilities that even the Kretal do not understand. Your people can manipulate quantum fields in ways that should be impossible. This makes you incredibly dangerous, but also incredibly valuable as allies." "What kind of abilities?" Hyunwoo asked. "Watch," the oracle said. Suddenly, Hyunwoo felt something change inside his mind. The space around him seemed to slow down, and he could sense the quantum fields that held reality together. For just a moment, he understood how the universe worked on its most basic level. Then the feeling was gone, leaving him gasping. Every human has this potential, the Oracle explained. The quarantine enhanced your natural abilities far beyond what we expected. You are no longer the primitive species we hid 200,000 years ago. You have become something new, something that could change the balance of power in the entire galaxy. Dr. Sujin looked up from her work. Captain, I have established contact with 12 other species. They are all reporting Kretal attacks, but they are also expressing interest in forming an alliance. Good, Yunwu said. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as we used to say on Earth. The shepherd's voice carried what sounded like approval. You learn quickly, Captain Park. That adaptability is exactly what my creators hope to preserve. The quarantined species represent the next phase of galactic evolution, and humanity appears to be leading that evolution. No pressure there, Hyunwoo muttered. Then he straightened up and looked at his crew. All right, people, it looks like we are about to become part of something much bigger than we ever imagined. Let us make sure we are ready for it. As the Discovery prepared to return to human space with their incredible news, none of them realized that their actions had set in motion events that would reshape the entire galaxy. The age of hiding was over. The age of war was about to begin. Admiral Seo Min-jun stood in the command center of Earth's most powerful space station, watching the tactical displays that showed Kretal fleets moving throughout human space. 3 weeks had passed since Captain Park's return with news of the quarantined species, and the galaxy had erupted into chaos. Admiral, we have reports of Kretal attacks on New Seoul, Busan Colony, and the Jeju mining station, reported Commander Yoon Hai-won from the communications desk. Our defense fleets are engaging them, but they are heavily outnumbered. What about the other species? Min-jun asked. Are the quarantined worlds responding to our alliance calls? Yes, sir, Hae-won replied. We have confirmed contact with 31 of the 47 species. Most of them are under attack, but several have agreed to coordinate their defense efforts with ours. Dr. Ko Yun-ji looked up from her temporal mechanics station. Admiral, I have good news and bad news about the quarantine systems. Give me the bad news first, Min-jun said. The temporal barriers are collapsing faster than we expected. In less than a month, all of the hidden worlds will be fully visible to normal space-time. The Kretal will be able to detect and attack them much more easily. And the good news? Yunji smiled. I think I have figured out how to reverse the process partially. Not to hide the worlds again, but to give us access to architect technology that was locked away by the quarantine systems. Before Min-jun could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the command center. On the main display, a massive fleet of ships appeared at the edge of the Sol system. There were hundreds of them, all displaying Kretal energy signatures. Admiral, incoming message from the Kretal fleet, Hae-won reported. Put it on screen. The image that appeared showed War Chief Gorthek, but he looked different now. His armor was more elaborate, and his eyes burned with the fire of a warrior who had tasted victory. Behind him, Min-jun could see other aliens that he did not recognize. People of Earth, Gorthak began. I am War Chief Gorthak, Supreme Commander of the Kretal Imperial Fleet. You have harbored dangerous weapons that threaten the peace of the galaxy. Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick. This is Admiral Seo Min-jun of Earth Defense Command, Min-jun replied. Earth has no weapons that threaten anyone. We seek only to live in peace with all galactic civilizations. Gorthak laughed, a sound like grinding metal. You lie, human. Our allies have confirmed that the quarantined species possess technology that could destroy entire star systems. You will not be allowed to use such weapons against peaceful civilizations. What allies? Min-jun demanded. The camera turned to show several other beings standing beside Gorthak. Min-jun recognized some of them from the galactic databases. The hegemony of suns, the Trade Federation, even some members of the crystalline collective that had been humanity's friends. Many civilizations fear what you have become, one of the aliens said. The architects quarantined your species for good reasons. Now that you have emerged, you must be contained before you can threaten the established order. Dr. Yun-ji moved to Min-jun's side. Admiral, They are afraid. The emergence of 47 advanced species at once would completely change the balance of power in the galaxy. The established civilizations would lose their control over galactic politics and trade. So, this is not really about weapons, Minjun said. This is about power. Correct, Gorthak growled. The galaxy was stable before your kind emerged. We will make it stable again by removing the threat you represent. The communication ended, and the Kretal fleet began moving toward Earth. The tactical displays showed that they had nearly 1,000 ships, far more than Earth's defenses could handle alone. Admiral, we are receiving messages from the Quarantined Species Alliance, Haywan reported. They are sending whatever ships they can spare to help defend Earth. How many? Minjun asked. So far, about 200 ships from 15 different species. More are coming, but they may not arrive in time. Minjun looked at the tactical display. Even with the Allied ships, they would still be badly outnumbered. Dr. Ko, how long until you can access the architect technology? I need at least 6 hours to break through the temporal locks, Yunji replied. But Admiral, I cannot guarantee what we will find. The architects hid their most advanced technology for good reasons. Do it, Minjun ordered. We need every advantage we can get. As Yunji worked frantically at her station, reports continued to pour in from across human space. The Kretal were not just attacking Earth. They were hitting every human colony, every space station, every ship they could find. This was not a battle for territory. This was an attempt at genocide. Admiral, Commander Yoon called out, I have President Park on the secure channel from Earth Command. The image of President Park Sung-ho appeared on the screen. The leader of Earth looked tired and worried, but his voice was steady. Admiral Seo, what is our status? Not good, Mr. President. The Kretal have brought almost everything they have, and several other civilizations are supporting them. We are looking at a fight for humanity's survival. What about our new allies? They are helping, but they are all under attack too. This appears to be a coordinated assault on all quarantined species simultaneously. President Park was quiet. For a moment. Admiral, I am authorizing you to use any and all means necessary to defend our people. If Dr. Ko can access architect technology, you have my permission to use it. Understood, sir. As the president's image disappeared, Dr. Yoon-ji called out excitedly, Admiral, I am breaking through. The temporal locks are failing. On her screen, complex equations and energy patterns flowed like water. Suddenly, something changed. The patterns stabilized, and new information began appearing on every display in the command center. What is it? Minjun asked. It is a database, Yunji said in wonder. The architects left behind complete instructions for their most advanced technologies, ship designs, weapon systems, defensive screens, even instructions for manipulating space-time itself. Can we build any of it? Admiral, we do not have to build it. Look at this. On the main screen, images appeared showing massive structures hidden throughout the galaxy. Space stations, automated factories, weapon platforms, all of them powered, down and waiting. The architects left behind an entire military infrastructure, Yunji explained. It has been hidden in temporal bubbles just like the quarantined worlds. Now that the barriers are failing, all of it is becoming accessible. Arya's voice came through the communication system. Admiral, I am detecting massive energy signatures appearing throughout the Sol system. Something is happening to the asteroids. On the tactical display, they watched in amazement as asteroid rocks began to unfold like flowers. Hidden inside each one was a structure of impossible beauty and complexity. Space stations that had been disguised as rocks for 200,000 years were revealing themselves. How many are there? Minjun asked. I count 47 stations in this system alone, Arya replied. And Admiral, they are powering up. I believe they are responding to the Kretal threat. One of the larger stations sent a communication directly to Earth Command. The voice that came through was similar to the shepherd they had met in the void, Reaches, but older and more powerful. This is Architect Defense Network Station Alpha 7. We have detected hostile forces threatening quarantined species. All defense protocols are now active. This is Admiral SEO of Earth Defense Command. The battle for Earth lasted 3 days, but it was unlike any war the galaxy had ever seen. The architect defense stations that emerged from their hiding places were more powerful than anything the Kretal had imagined. Their weapons could destroy, Entire fleets with single shots, and their shields made them nearly impossible to damage. But the most surprising thing was not the ancient technology. It was what happened to the humans who operated alongside it. Captain Park Hyun-woo discovered it first. During the second day of fighting, his ship was badly damaged and surrounded by Kretal vessels. As he watched enemy missiles approaching, something inside him awakened. Time seemed to slow down, and he could see the quantum threads that held reality together. Without thinking, he reached out with his mind and simply made the missiles disappear. "Captain, how did you do that?" Dr. Sujin asked from her station. "I do not know," Hyun-woo replied honestly. "It just felt natural. Similar events were happening throughout the human fleet. Pilots were dodging attacks that should have been impossible to avoid. Engineers were repairing damage faster than their tools should have allowed. Weapons officers were hitting targets at ranges that defied the laws of physics. The Oracle, still present in the battle zone, spoke to Admiral Min-jun directly. "Your species is awakening to its full potential much faster than we expected. The stress of combat is accelerating the process." "What process?" Min-jun asked as he watched his tactical displays show impossible victories. "The quantum manipulation abilities that caused us to quarantine Earth in the first place? They were never gone, Admiral. They were simply dormant, waiting for the right moment to emerge." On Earth, Dr. Bae Young-mai was studying the biological changes happening to humans in real time. Her instruments showed that human brain activity was increasing in areas that had been considered inactive. DNA sequences that had been labeled as junk were suddenly expressing new proteins. "It is as if evolution is happening in fast forward," she reported to President Park. "The humans fighting in space are developing abilities that should take millions of years to evolve." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the other quarantined species were having their own awakenings. The ethereals of Proxima could phase through solid matter at will. The crystal singers of Andromeda could shatter enemy ships with focused sound waves. The dreamwalkers of the Outer Rim could influence the thoughts of their enemies from across space. War Chief Gorthok watched his fleets being destroyed by forces he could not understand. "This is impossible!" he roared at his officers. "How can primitive species have such power?" His answer came from an unexpected source. Elder Velthar appeared on his communication screen, the ancient crystalline being looking more confident than he had in centuries. "They are not primitive anymore, War Chief. The architects knew this day would come. The quarantined species were never meant to stay hidden forever. They were meant to grow, to evolve, to become something greater than what they were." "You knew about this?" Gorthok demanded. "We all knew," Velthar replied. "Every advanced civilization in the galaxy has been waiting for this moment. The question was whether we would welcome the change or fight against it." As the battle continued, something remarkable began to happen. Ships from other civilizations started arriving in human space, but not to fight. They came to witness what was happening. The Vorthon Empire, the Azure Collective, even some Kretal ships that had broken away from Gorthak's command. Ambassador Lee Dobbin found herself in the strange position of conducting diplomacy in the middle of a war zone. Representatives from dozens of species wanted to talk to humanity and the other emerging quarantined worlds. "Why now?" asked Ambassador Shektar of the Vorthon Empire. "Why did the architects choose this moment for your emergence?" Dobbin looked at the data Dr. Yunji had discovered about the architect systems. "I think it was not about timing. It was about necessity. The galaxy has become stagnant. The same civilizations have controlled everything for too long. The architects saw that and planned for a change. A change that could destroy everything we have built," protested Trade Minister Zelnoth of the Commerce Federation. "Or a change that could make everything better," replied Dr. Han Sol Kim, who had joined the diplomatic talks. The star map was not just a record of the past. It was a blueprint for the future. A future where the galaxy would be guided by species that still remembered how to grow and adapt. The turning point in the war came when the Shepard AI made an announcement that reached every ship in the battle. "All hostilities will cease immediately. The test of worthiness is complete." "What test?" Admiral Min-jun demanded. "The emergence of the quarantined species was always intended to be a test," the Shepard explained. "A test to see if the galaxy was ready for the next phase of its development. The reaction of the established civilizations would determine whether They could adapt to change or would cling to the old ways. On the main tactical display, images appeared showing the results of the test. More than half of the galactic civilizations had chosen to welcome the emerging species, or at least remain neutral. They had passed the test. The Kretal Empire and their few remaining allies had failed. But instead of being destroyed, they were given a choice. "You can continue to fight a war you cannot win," the Oracle announced, "or you can join the new galactic order as equals. The choice is yours." Gorthak looked at his remaining ships, then at the impossible forces arrayed against him. Slowly, he powered down his weapons. "The Kretal Empire yields," he said with as much dignity as he could manage, "but we will not forget this humiliation." "You should not think of it as humiliation," Captain Hyunwoo said, surprising everyone by joining the communication. "Think of it as an opportunity to become something better than what you were." In the months that followed, the galaxy began to change in ways no one had expected. Earth became the center of a new kind of galactic government, not because humans had conquered anyone, but because they had shown a gift for bringing different species together. The quarantined species formed the core of this new alliance, but they welcomed any civilization that was willing to embrace change and growth. Even some Kretal worlds chose to join, though Gorthak and his most loyal followers remained bitter enemies. Dr. Han Sol Kim returned to the archives on Nexus Prime, but now he had access to information that had been hidden for 200,000 years. The true history of the galaxy was finally being revealed. "The architects planned all of this," he told Elder Velthar, as they studied the complete records together. "The quarantine, the star map, even the timing of the emergence. They knew that the galaxy would need new leadership eventually. And they chose humanity to provide it?" Velthar asked. "Not just humanity," Han Sol replied. "All 47 species working together. Each one brings something different to the alliance. Humans provide adaptability and diplomacy. The ethereals bring scientific knowledge. The crystal singers offer artistic beauty. Together, we are stronger than any single species could be alone." The most amazing discovery came when Dr. Yoonji finished her analysis of the architect technology. Hidden in the deepest files was a message from the architects themselves, recorded before they transcended physical existence. "To the children of the future," the message began, "if you are reading this, then our plan has succeeded. The galaxy was growing stagnant under the rule of civilizations that had forgotten how to change. We quarantined the most promising species not to hide them, but to preserve them, to give them time to develop the strength and wisdom needed to guide the galaxy into a new age. You are not our replacements. You are our continuation. The next step in the galaxy's evolution. We trust that you will do better than we did, and when your time comes, you will prepare the way for those who come after you. The star map was our gift to you, a reminder that even the most detailed records can be incomplete. Earth was never missing from our map. It was simply waiting for the right time to be revealed." As Ambassador Daybin read the message aloud to the assembled representatives of 53 civilizations, she realized that they were not just witnessing the end of one age and the beginning of another. They were part of a cycle that had been planned long before any of them existed. The galaxy's oldest star map now hung in the new Galactic Council chambers on Earth, complete at last. Where once there had been an empty space in the Sol system, Earth now shone brightly, surrounded by the symbols of all the species that had chosen to join the new alliance. The age of hiding was over. The age of growth had begun. And somewhere in the depths of space, the consciousness that had once been the architects watched with approval as their greatest experiment finally bore fruit. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly as it should be.